When it comes to stock car racing, especially in NASCAR, success and money are two things that can be very hard to mix, depending on your background and overall experience. In order to remain stable and have at least a decent career in a stock car, you have to have the money. Having a budget to get everything you need in order to get into racing is extremely difficult. Getting all the pieces to build the car like the chassis, the engine, the tires, etc. Having a place to do all of it, aka a garage for example, hiring a team of crew members, and so much more. It's quite literally known that even if you have the potential of becoming a superstar in the higher ranks, it doesn't mean it's going to end up happening if you're not backed up financially in some form. Hell, there are many drivers out there that were picked up by teams during their journey to the top, but some team down the line went into trouble and a driver's career was basically screwed. The sort of topic seems to be the exact story revolving around a certain driver who seemed to have all the skills for becoming a legitimate star in the making for NASCAR's future. And that man is Cayden Lapcevich, a young Canadian driver who was going wild statistically on local short tracks across Ontario in the early to mid-2010s, with multiple championships to back him up. However, as he was getting into the spotlight, he was hit with harsh truth and sent packing, at least in the higher ranks. Although he still races in the lower ranks across the United States, there hasn't been a single opportunity for him since those promising times. However, that doesn't have to mean anything just yet. I already mentioned the gist of Lapcevich's short-lived Pinty series career in a previous video, but I felt like telling the whole story in one video would give it enough justice and provide a good explanation for his overall story. So, this begs the question, what happened to Cayden Lapcevich and where is he right now? Lapcevich was born in 1999 in Grimsby, Ontario, a town on the outskirts of Hamilton and an hour away from Toronto. He is a third-generation driver behind grandfather Joe and father Jeff. His grandfather, a dirt racer in the 1960s, had a team called Fastline Motorsports with a race shop in Hamilton, which is where Cayden spent most of his childhood, and his father raced in CASCAR during the early 2000s for the team in the number 25 Chevrolet Monte Carlo car, finishing a best fourth in the standings in 2004. All this combined, it gave Lapcevich the passion for wanting to jump on the racetrack too. Thus, he was handed a quarter midget car at age 4, and he began running on some small local short tracks across Ontario, where many noticed him show natural skills in outbeating his own friends. Soon, he was called to even larger competition on a national provincial scale, and the wins and championships kept coming, including 7 titles in quarter midgets. At some point, his family decided to move him up into stock cars, more specifically super stocks, in order to give Lapcevich more of a challenge on the racetrack. It didn't take long for him to find his comfort in the newer car, as he nearly won everything he got involved in, including a Superstock championship during the years of 2014 and 2015. With all this being said, Lapcevich most certainly looked to be one of Canada's biggest up-and-coming motorsports drivers, and that saw a huge advancement as he, along with his family and team, announced that he would move up to the country's national stock car racing series known as the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series, driving the number 34 and number 76 Dodge car with Tim Hortons backing him up as the main sponsor. His father Jeff would also run a few races, driving the number 76 when Cayden wasn't racing. He would begin the season at the opening race at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in Bowmanville on May 15, 2015, racing alongside his father. Cayden qualified 18th while Jeff qualified 6th. Jeff remained inside the top 5 for most of the race, even leading 2 laps. At one point, in a case of 2 almost simultaneous incidents on lap 38, Trevor Zebair went spinning in turn 1 at the back of the field, and Cayden came just inches away from being involved, sliding around Zebair and nearly putting himself in the tire barrier, but somehow keeping the car straight and stable. With Jeff looking good for a 4th place finish while Cayden would only suit for 17th, managing to stay on the lead lap at least, an incredible last lap fight between Scott Steckley and Andrew Ranger saw Jeff finish higher than he had likely expected. Cayden would return to action at the second race of the season at Autodrome Chaudière, this time in number 76, starting in 11th out of 18 cars. For most of the race, he remained around the mid-10s, keeping an okay pace and avoiding an accident lap 100 out of 300. Towards the middle of the race, he was slowly popping into the top 10, once again avoiding another accident lap 199. Unfortunately, his run for a solid finish was cut short with nearly 70 laps remaining, as LP Dumoulin went around on the front stretch, and the amount of smoke was just too much for Lapcevich to make any sort of avoidance.
Into the back end of the number 47 of Dumoulin. As that battle continued, caution is obviously out. A cloud of smoke off turn number 4, and somebody's going to be smoking inside that number 47 car. Damage to the front end of the 76.
He would end up DNFing due to heavy right front end damage, finishing last. One more race was attempted before taking a break for the next 4 races, as Lapcevich took his number 76 car to Sunset Speedway, looking to finally find redemption. He would qualify on the edge of the podium in 3rd place, dropping back a little bit as the 300-lap race began. However, on lap 61, he climbed his way back up through the top spots, fighting for the lead with Scott Steckley and going on to lead 45 laps, before falling to second as Alex Tagliani took a shot. A late restart would push Lapcevich back a bit due to a crazy number of lap cars, but he wouldn't hold back, scoring his first career podium in the series. After taking about over a month off from competing, he returned in August for his second run on a road course, although technically a street circuit, being the legendary Circuit des Trois Rivières. Qualifying 16th out of 25 cars, he found himself just outside the top 10 a couple of times, and was even on pace for his second top 10 finish of the season, before a wheel lock moment in turn 6 on lap 34 out of 50 sent his car into the tire barrier.
Have another look at what happened to Lapcevich.
Here's a replay right there. He's on the outside. He's cutting the corner off, and he can't get it turned, and he can't get it stopped. Hello, tire barrier.
He didn't get into it as hard as I thought he might, as the crumpled hood would appear, and it looks like Lapcevich having trouble refiring.
Although his race looked to be potentially over, he actually rebounded, finishing 15th despite the hit. Skipping over the Riverside race in Nova Scotia, Lapcevich was back for the second race of Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in late August, hoping to rebound after a very meh run at the track in May. That's exactly what happened as he once again raced alongside his father, only this time it would be Jeff's final race in the Pinty series. Out of 29 cars, Cayden was unable to qualify and started alone at the back, while Jeff qualified 3rd. Jeff remained up at the front for the most part, while Cayden had to climb his way up. By mid-race, he was within the top 20, and then the top 15 as less than 20 laps remained. At 10 laps to go, while Jeff continued to fight inside the top 5, Cayden was now inside the top 10 with his father in his sight. Just 2 laps later, a big crash ensued in front of him off turn 7, and he avoided the chaos. Using the next restart to climb his way up a little more, he would just barely make the top 10, finishing 9th as Jeff got on the podium for the second time. This was only Cayden's 3rd race on a road course, and yet he had shown all that versatility and patience leading to the finish. Now, 1 race remained on the 2015 schedule as he returned to the number 76 car at Kawartha Speedway, qualifying on the front row alongside pole setter Scott Steckley. Most of the 250-lap race saw Lapcevich fight inside the top 5 as Steckley and Jason Hathaway fought for the title, with Steckley eventually winning it. Coming towards the end, the long run seemed to be an issue for Lapcevich as he dropped below the top 5 and claimed 6th. Although only on a part-time schedule, he would finish 14th in the standings with 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s in 6 starts. As 2016 approached, it was confirmed that Lapcevich would compete full-time in the Pinty series, renamed from Canadian Tire at the time, for his family-owned team, continuing to drive the number 76 car. Sadly, just before the season was about to get underway, Tim Hortons would end their partnership with the team, and Lapcevich was going to have to deal with a sponsorless car for the time being. That wouldn't stop him from tearing through the headlines, however, as he put on what can only be described as a phenomenal season for just his first full-time run.
The battle for 10th spot. Matthew Scannell currently holds that 10th position in the Omvik Dodge. Robin Buck, and there's Cayden Lapcevich in the 76 in that dice as well. And Lapcevich without a sponsor on board, but he's hungry for a good showing here today.
Bizarre move there and allowed Alex Labay to go by DJ Kennington looking for racing room behind him.
And you know what? The driver of the side into turn number 1, a green-white checker to settle it here in the Clarington 200.
Cayden Lapcevich, he's up to 4th.
And he's going to be pressuring DJ Kennington through the final set of turns. It's Andrew Ranger through turn number 10 for the final time. And here comes Cayden Lapcevich giving the 17 a push. Ranger's going to win race number 1. We got problems in behind.
Car spinning in turn 10. Ranger with the win. Buck finishes 2nd. Kennington in 3rd.
That would be Cayden Lapcevich, his first career NASCAR Pinty Series pole. The 16-year-old is having himself a terrific weekend. He won the late model race last night and blistered a new track record earlier today, 14.639 seconds. Some tough competition in today's race.
We head to the green flag. We're underway in the Leland 300 at Sunset Speedway.
John Brassard, the Member of Parliament for Barrie and Innisfil, waves the green flag over this one.
Up on the outside, Alex Labay, that you see across the top of your screen, the 0-2 of Mark Dilley, 5 laps down, broken right front suspension. Heartbreak for that team after a 17th place finish here.
Contact there, Tagliani is still loose, and there goes Dwayne Baker.
Tagliani cruises to the checkered in the Leland Industries 300 at Sunset Speedway.
Cayden Lapcevich finishes 2nd, and how about Larry Jackson?
Flag here at Autodrome Chaudière. It's up, and we're underway in the CRS Express 300.
A bit of a ragged start. A couple of cars really lost ground at the back of the field, Dave, but at the front, Alex Labay on the inside in the 32. Cayden Lapcevich not giving an inch on the high side.
And off laps under green, and when you run laps of 13 seconds, they tick off quickly. During that break, though, the 32 of Alex Levay took the lead from Cayden Lapcevich. Should mention, too, that the 59 of Gary Clute changing a rear gear in the pits came into this one 6th in points. Slowly through turn number 4, Cayden Lapcevich on the inside. Green flag is up. We're back underway.
Big problem for Ranger trying to get up to speed. That car kicked way loose on him, but Cayden Lapcevich couldn't take advantage. He will slot up in line in the second spot.
And another bump out of Cayden Lapcevich, just enough to upset that race car and move the 32 up half a lane. An unbelievable finish to the CRS Express 300 at Autodrome Chaudière. Levay in control up in the outside group. 1 lap to go. A quarter of a mile here in Valley Junction, Quebec. And Lapcevich down low.
Drives it up the inside. He's got one more chance. A little bit of contact, Dave.
Will he push him in 4? No, he doesn't. He gets crossed up. Levay's going to win it first. Lapcevich will come home second. And there's the 40 of David Michaud. You saw your points leader. The 76 of Cayden Lapcevich, the red car with the yellow numbers. And that's a battle for 11th spot. 15 turns, total of 2.13 miles. And Lapcevich with a run here.
And Lapcevich is one of the only drivers who's attempted to make a pass in certain parts of the racetrack. A lot of drivers just wait till they get to turn 1, the hairpin corner. Levay into second, Lacroix third, Tagliani, Ely Arsenault. They've got themselves single file. One goes around, that's Peter Clute tied up with Anthony Simone.
Yeah.
So after the opening lap penalty as well to come home with Patrice Brisebois' first top 10 finish. Went back to the hotel about 11:30 to get some sleep for the race while the crew continued to work.
Pitcher's not close enough to think about a move.
Side by side are Kerry Mix and Daniel Morad. Mix squeezes the 0-6 and takes the position. How about Cayden Lapcevich in the 76? He is into the top 10.
Daniel Morad salvaged a 7th place finish. Cayden Lapcevich in 8th.
Made the trip all the way across the country, and it's Andrew Ranger with a 13-point lead over Cayden Lapcevich, the 16-year-old in the 76.
Quan, the 74. Cayden Lapcevich in the 76, and we are underway.
Kevin Lacroix, this is new territory for him. His first career pole position. He gets a great launch at the green flag. A little bit of contact with Lacroix as Lapcevich works the inside groove. We ride on board both Lapcevich and the 32 of Alex Levay. What a great view. Battle for the second spot. Indeed, big problems ahead. Alex Levay makes contact with Kevin Lacroix. There's body panels flying everywhere.
Now we had another problem.
As they come out of turn number 2, you see Cayden Lapcevich working to get to the bottom.
Oh, and there was big problems there. You see the 9 and the 09. Tagliani's going to win his 2nd of the season.
Tagliani with the win. LP Dumoulin second, Cayden Lapcevich third.
A new look on the championship after missing the opening round.
And that team's focus was always the Owners' Championship because they knew Tag was going to run the Indy 500. Lapcevich in the 76.
It's a good little dice there with the Ray Bestis number 3 of Jason Hathaway up on the outside. The Chevrolet trying to get things going here.
Go to the bottom and try to make it work.
Battle for 9th spot underneath. Whoa, we got a car around. It's the one of Joey McComb, and Admiral gets collected.
They roar down into turn number 1. Lapcevich a couple of feet off that yellow line. Hathaway even higher. But look at the run Hathaway gets off at turn 2.
This time at Wyatt Group Raceway, and it is the youngster Cayden Lapcevich looking for his NASCAR Pinty Series maiden victory.
With the white flag about to fly, we've got a great battle for the 4th spot.
3rd place belongs to the 18 of Alex Tagliani currently, but it's Levay and Andrew Ranger battling side by side. Now here comes Levay for 3rd.
Levay making contact with Alex Tagliani, but Cayden Lapcevich will make NASCAR history.
The youngest winner in NASCAR history is Cayden Lapcevich as he takes the checkered flag here at Saskatoon.
Young Cayden Lapcevich at 16 years old is victorious for the first time in the NASCAR Pinty Series.
Leads, but not by much.
And then you go from 3rd on back. Alex Tagliani, 26, might get an advantage. Oh, problems already. The 59 of Gary Clute hard into the concrete.
Series, and he's starting to gain some speed as he goes for a slide and into the back of the 76.
Wow! Cayden Lapcevich spins the car out, didn't make contact with anything, but that car was about 3 feet up in the air. A fifth-place driver, great job to go from 18th all the way up to 5th with just 10 laps to go.
We're at the 06. He's got nothing to lose, and there's contact. The 17 slides into the runoff, so does the 47 of Dumoulin.
And Dave, the series is still a 2-horse race in the points championship. Veteran Andrew Ranger has a 5-point lead over 16-year-old sensation Cayden Lapcevich. Jason Hathaway, he's having a good run, even despite the fuel can problem. And here goes Lapcevich. Here's our points contenders racing for 4th. Look at Alex Tagliani right behind them.
And off the pace, the 89 of Chisholm, we got problems.
Oh!
Dilly goes around, and he caught your race leader. Inside, he has a nose. Can he make it stick down low? Hathaway's going to come back solid up high.
Lapcevich still hasn't quite cleared the 3. What a wise move to keep the car down the bottom. Now he'll clear him down into turn number 1 and take the lead for the first time down the backstretch.
In between him and second place, the 47 of LP Dumoulin, but Cayden Lapcevich looking to take over the points lead. He'll win his second of the season in Riverside.
Cayden Lapcevich climbing up on the roof of that number 76 to a shower of confetti and that big smile on his face. A little slippery on that roof when you climb up there.
For Andrew Ranger in second, Alex Tagliani, who'd been coming on strong in 3rd place.
Tagliani will be the first one on the front straightaway, and he'll be the one to lead him to green here in the Can-Am 200.
That was a lightning fast start by Alex Tagliani. Inside goes Gralla, over the rumble strips on the outside goes Lapcevich.
Here's youthful enthusiasm. Cayden Lapcevich is your points leader, and they make contact in turn number 1. He doesn't need this battle. He can afford to lose 1 spot. Pathway. So Mark, the WeatherTech Dodge up into 2nd spot.
Wow, and Cayden Lapcevich going to take advantage of Hathaway. Lost a little bit of speed coming out of turn 1, and Lapcevich makes the move into 3rd. LP Dumoulin hangs on to finish 2nd, and there goes Cayden Lapcevich, his first career podium on a road course. For Andrew Ranger, but the battle behind them is really tight for 3rd place.
Well, that's our Saint-Eustache, Pierre Charron with the green flag, and we're underway.
Down into turn number 1, trouble already. Dion Vienna around, Jason Hathaway around. About half a dozen cars involved in this one.
19 of Alex Tagliani. That's what's great about Autodrome Saint-Eustache. I was going to say we have nose-to-tail running, and there's some contact there as Hathaway goes around us, though, during that caution period will feel like Superman at this point. They can carve their way through the field with brand-new Goodyear Eagles. However, we are playing the rain game. There's a lot of people watching the skies we mentioned earlier. Now we're seeing some lightning pop up.
Racetrack, but that ship has sailed. We passed halfway, the rain didn't come, and there's not that many cars behind them still on the lead lap.
It's Manager Ranger, and that's all it's going to take. Give Cayden Lapcevich the position, and we got problems.
Ranger goes around Alex LeMay trying to fill the hole that Cayden Lapcevich made, and Ranger did not lift.
Goes underneath the Can-Am Ford Fusion, and problems. Big wreck going into turn number 3. Tagliani and Hathaway, where have we seen this before?
It was a racing deal, but when you touch tires like that, well, now Tag really got loose. Lapcevich pulling away. Adam Martin looking to the inside of Dilly for 3rd, but the 16-year-old Cayden Lapcevich is going to win race number 3.
And he'll come across the stripe first once again, the 2nd time in a row. And of course, he comes into this event with a 41-point lead.
On the high side, green flag in the air. We're on for the final Pinty's race of the year. His father Peter, his brother Ryan. Oh, trouble in turn number 3. We'll get to the story later.
Trouble for the 27 of Andrew Ranger and the 74 of Kevin Lacroix.
Cayden Lapcevich going to come home 2nd. LeMay finishes 3rd.
Jeff Lapcevich has given high fives to this whole Fastline Motorsports crew. You can all exhale now. You've done it. You're the champions.
Yeah, we, you know what? That a monkey could crew chief that kid. He makes it easy, and just I can't imagine. Sorry, they're talking to my ear here. I can't imagine the season he had. He just it never ceased to amaze us all. So I'm proud of him. I'm proud of these guys. I'm proud of all the supporters who stand behind us, and glad to be here today. And this one's for my dad. You know, he would really love to see this, and Aunt Robin, they're shining on us, and I'm really proud to be here right now.
And with that, Cayden Lapcevich was a Pinty Series champion along with scoring Rookie of the Year honors with just one full-time season done. His incredible season took headlines across the motorsports world as the youngest National Series champion, and NASCAR came calling, choosing him to be a part of the 2017 NASCAR Next program, which is known for helping young up-and-coming stars get the recognition and attention they deserve, with alumni such as Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, and many others. Despite being very lackluster with sponsors, Lapcevich was still scheduled to run full-time for a second straight season in 2017, continuing to drive the number 76 for his family's team. What followed was another great campaign as Lapcevich scored 3 wins, which were at Autodrome Chaudière, Saskatoon, and the new finale at Chicasa Motor Speedway, along with 6 podiums, 7 top 5s, and 10 top 10s, a little short of what was accomplished the previous year in terms of consistency and average finish, but it was still an excellent season regardless. With 2 straight successful seasons in the Pinty Series done, Lapcevich had once again proven his talent as a stock car driver. His results from the 2017 campaign led him to claiming a Rising Star Award from the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame in October. Despite all these successes, what came into the headlines in early 2018 shocked everyone. His father and team owner revealed that due to financial problems, Cayden wouldn't participate in the Pinty Series in 2018, as the team had absolutely no budget whatsoever. The well-known number 76 red and yellow Dodge wasn't going to be on the track ever again. Despite the unfortunate circumstances, Cayden wasn't entirely done himself, as he was still able to join multiple late model races across Canada and the United States, with some notable ones being the 2018 and 2019 Canadian Short Track Nationals at the now defunct Chicasa Motor Speedway, the 2019 Glass City 200 at Toledo Speedway in Ohio, which he won in the late model, and a 2020 ARCA Midwest Tour race in Wisconsin. Along with participating in occasional races every now and then, Lapcevich has spent most of his time focusing on college at the University of Northern Ohio in a specific program for learning motorsports technology and engineering. With Cayden seemingly done from any potential professional opportunity, that doesn't mean the Lapcevich racing tradition is over just yet. Meet his younger brother Cayden, who also got into racing at a young age, most notably winning an entry-level division race at Sunset Speedway on the same night that Cayden had won his 2015 Superstock Championship. Cayden would also go on to race in Superstocks, and in both 2018 and 2019, he participated in the Canadian Short Track Nationals at Chicasa, finishing 12th and 15th respectively. After a part-time campaign in the Pinty Series in 2020, driving for Scott Steckle's 22 racing team, he moved up to full-time in 2021, scoring 2 podiums, 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s, and 4 poles in 10 races. He will likely be back for the eventual 2022 season, ready to give the Lapcevich family another championship. With Cayden looking very good so far, does this mean Cayden's shot at anything is impossible now? Well, maybe not just yet. Considering he's just 22 right now and is likely still in college at this time, perhaps he heads on a journey becoming a successful engineer and/or crew member in American stock car racing. Maybe someone gives him a chance in a car during that time and he proves something. Maybe he decides to help Cayden along the way. Only time will tell. But anyways, that will officially do it for this video, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, click the subscribe button along with the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything else, and also share this with your buddies to get the word out. My name's Reegser, or Reeks for short, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.